I've included 4 recipes that I'm going to have for Easter, and I think you would enjoy them too. Chicken, sausage, peppers, and potatoes. Easy to make, always a hit. Classic macaroni salad. This is a hit any time of the year, summer, holidays. I love it and I make it quite often. Blueberry chamomile naked cake. This is a showstopper. It's as delicious as it is pretty and easy to make. And sugar cookies. My favorite sugar cookie of all time, and I think you will say the same if you try it. First, I'm going to heat oil on the skillet and I'm going to cook the sausage links until browned or until they render fat. We're going to pierce them lightly and let the juices flow. This also firms up the sausage so that it's easy to cut in smaller, bite-sized pieces. While the sausages are browning, let's go to the bowl. Now we're going to put the onion in a large bowl. We have red onion, and you can use either sweet onion or yellow onion. I used bell peppers, orange and yellow, but you can use any sweet peppers. They need to be sweet peppers, not hot. Give this a good toss. All right, let's turn these sausages. I used the Italian sweet sausage. I didn't use the hot. See, we're going to cut them in little 2 to 3 inch sections. Put all those juices back in the pan. So back to the large bowl, I'm adding my yellow potatoes and the cooked sausage with all the juices. You need a large bowl to mix this up. I've cut the chicken, made 2 slits all the way to the bone. It'll help it cook. And it'll be tender. Don't worry about that. So, I'm putting the chicken in. Now give this a little toss. And we're going to sprinkle with a good olive oil. Let's mix it. I don't know any way you can do this except with your hands. We're going to mix it really well. Make sure everything is coated in some oil. If you need to, you can sprinkle a little more. Now our Italian herbs and kosher salt. Once again, mix this up really well. This was a hit. My neighbors absolutely loved it. We loved it. And it's so simple and easy to do. Now I actually put 8 thighs in here because I wanted extra chicken. But what you want to try to do is arrange the chicken on top so that the skin browns. Going into the preheated oven at 450 degrees for 1 hour. That seemed like a long time, but it's not, and the chicken does not get dry. Look how good that, oh, doesn't that look good? Beautiful, and it tasted so good, I'm telling you. I'm checking the potatoes, they're done. Sprinkle with Italian parsley or regular parsley. I used the curly parsley. Chicken, sausage, peppers, and potatoes all in one pan. You can feed your family, friends, and your neighbors with this recipe, and they will love you for it. The chicken was so tender and full of flavor, the peppers and spices coupled with the Italian sausage. This dish was one of those that makes memories. You have to try it to understand, and I hope you will. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I cook every day and we post as often as we can. So if you enjoy the content like this, you should consider subscribing to my channel. So until next time, have a blessed day and come back and see what's cooking here on Darlene's Table. This is what's going in my macaroni salad today. So we've got Dijon mustard and mayonnaise. I chopped up some yellow squash, red bell pepper, celery, green onion, carrots. This is poblano pepper and jalapeno pepper that has been de-seeded. Vinegar, sugar, and our seasonings, which are black pepper, cayenne, and kosher salt. All right, so this is 1 pound of elbow macaroni that I cooked per package directions, and I let it drain well, but I did not rinse it. You want the macaroni sticky. It allows this nice dressing to really stick to it. So we're going to start with the mayonnaise and Dijon mustard. We're going to make our dressing. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of just white vinegar. Our seasonings, which is salt, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and sugar. Mix this real well. All right, a whisk will work better with this at this point. This is a delicious dressing. Now I'm going to add all the vegetables, the celery, red bell pepper, green onion. That's jalapeno and poblano peppers. I used the matchstick carrots that you can buy in the grocery store. And a cup of cubed yellow squash. There are many options for this. Now you're going to really mix this well with the dressing. All right, so back with the macaroni. The sticky, make sure it's separated. You'll have to use your hands. You don't want to mash it or break it up. But it being sticky is going to allow that dressing to really adhere to it. All right. You need to chill this once we're finished for at least 4 hours. Overnight's even better. It really makes the flavors come out. Now when I'm ready to serve it, you can take just a tablespoon of mayonnaise and a tablespoon of water and mix it together, especially if it stayed in the refrigerator all night, and just put it over the top and remix it. It'll really freshen it up. All right, some more cayenne pepper, I believe. It's not hot. I can't do that much heat, so it's a light sprinkling of cayenne. Now, when I serve it, just before serving, I cubed some Tillamook medium yellow cheddar, and I'm going to put that in there before serving and mix it well. But most likely I'll let this sit overnight. That's why I don't want to put the cheese in it now. I want it really fresh. You have many options. You could put whole grape tomatoes, chopped fine fresh broccoli. You could put green peas that have been thawed, the frozen ones, and even zucchini, all kinds of things. Also black olives. I wouldn't put too many more things in it. Classic macaroni salad. Loved by all and easy to make. You can't go wrong with macaroni salad, and I love the dressing on this salad. So many options for this. Even shrimp or crawfish would be a nice addition. The only hard thing about salad is deciding what to include in it. And isn't it pretty? Now you can find the printable recipe on our new website, darlenestable.com. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you again soon on Darlene's Table. Have a blessed day. First, I'm going to make the chamomile cream. So I went ahead and put both cups of heavy cream in here. You want to bring it to maybe bubbling, but do not bring it to a boil. So I'm going to add 8 chamomile tea bags to this. Now, I'm turning the heat off, and I'm going to let it steep with the lid on for about 15 minutes. Then squeeze it. I want you to squeeze the tea bags, but do not break them, so be careful. So if you have less than 2 cups, make sure you bring the mark back up to 2 cups with the cream. Now this sat in the refrigerator overnight, and I'm making the cake the next day. All right, so I've weighed out my sugar, and now I'm weighing out my flour. Added the salt, baking soda, and baking powder. I'll mix these dry ingredients and set aside. In the bowl of my stand mixer, I've added the sugar, canola oil, eggs, buttermilk, and the yogurt, and vanilla. Last but not least, vanilla bean paste. Using the paddle attachment, I'm going to mix this well, and then I'll slowly start adding the dry ingredients. Last of the dry ingredient. All right, we're just going to mix this until it's well combined. Now for a little math. Total weight, bowl and batter, is 2,858 grams. The bowl weight was 1,031. So my net weight of the batter is 1,827. I'm going to divide that between 3 pans. So I'm going to put about 609 grams per pan. Make sure I get all that batter. Now we're going to tap it. I'm tapping it to get some of the air bubbles out. Now at this point, I'm going to add my blueberry jam. Make sure you use a high quality. You don't want something that's real stiff because you want to be able to swirl it. I'll put it on top all 3 layers, and then I'll swirl it. Just use a regular knife, but you'll need something larger than like a toothpick. Okay, I did this with all 3 layers. Now these are 8-inch layer pans. This is a tall cake, but it's such a pretty cake when you're complete. This marbling with the blueberry jam is so pretty when the cake is sliced. Now, into the oven at 350 degrees for 28 to 30 minutes, or until the tops are just set. We don't want anything wiggly. Use a toothpick to test for doneness. All right, these are ready. Yes. All right, so we're going to let these cool for 5 minutes in the pan and then turn them out to cool completely. Run a knife along the outside of the layer. Be sure to take your parchment paper off. It should just peel right off. All right, now on to the icing. Okay, so beat the cream cheese until it's nice and fluffy. Now add the chamomile cream, and I changed from the paddle attachment to the whip, which I had in the freezer. I'm going to scrape down the sides, and we'll start beating this after I add the powdered sugar. So a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Now beat this till it's light and fluffy. Scrape down the side, and then I'm going to refrigerate it until my layers are totally cool. This is such a light, refreshing frosting, which goes perfectly with this cake. I'm going to put it in a plastic container, put the lid on it, keep it in the refrigerator until I layer the cake. You can actually make this the day before as well. It works fine. I have done that, especially when I'm taking the cake somewhere. And then when I get to where I'm going, I frost it. So I removed just a little bit of the layers just to make them totally flat. It didn't take much. All right, so I'm putting 1/3 of the chamomile cream on the top layer, and then we'll add some blueberries, just a few. Don't put too many. It could make it difficult to cut. I had these cake layers in the refrigerator. Now, we'll do this again. Listen, this is really good. If people don't like a real sweet cake, this is the cake for you. All right, so blueberries in between each. And then the last layer, and I'll put blueberries on top. My niece made this cake for her sister's wedding shower. It was visually stunning and was a focal part of the buffet table. At the same party, another niece wanted me to make this for her daughter's baby shower and asked me to make one for her. So I did, and the first thing I had to find was chamomile flowers, which wasn't easy. After several calls, I found them at Trader Joe's, which is a specialty grocery in our area. It was a 50-mile round trip to get these flowers. I made the cake you see here, but when I made the cake for this video, they didn't have the flour, so I improvised with baby's breath and St. John's wort, which was visually stunning, but the chamomile flowers I thought were more appropriate. Whatever flowers you use, make sure they're not toxic. For those who like a subtle, not so sweet cake, I think you're going to love this cake with just the right amount of sweetness. This cake really was delicious, and the chamomile added a dimension that I haven't experienced in a cake. Overall, this cake's a blue ribbon winner according to my sweet neighbor. It's elegant and sophisticated and delicious. Will be the centerpiece of any social event. So when you're ready to dazzle your loved ones, give this a try. You won't be disappointed, and you'll be the hit of the party. Of course, you can find this recipe on my new and improved website, darlenestable.com. So come back to see me soon, right here on Darlene's Table. Good morning. Well, today I'm making sugar cookies, my personal favorite. This recipe was given to me by my sister-in-law, Sharon, because every year at Christmas time, she would bring us a whole tin of them. They're one of the best sugar cookies I've ever eaten. And now they're not the type for rolling out and cutting and doing the decorations. It's not that kind of sugar cookie, but boy, is it good. Let's get started on Darlene's Table. I'm starting with 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of regular sugar, and 1 cup of powdered sugar. Let's mix this well. And now I'm going to add the 2 eggs and blend well. And the cup of vegetable oil. Some vanilla. I'm starting to add the flour, and I'm going to add the baking soda, cream of tartar, and salt. We'll put the flour in batches, thirds are fine. It's a lot of flour. All right, this dough is ready. On to sugar cookies. You can see how soft that dough is. That's why it's not good at all for rolling out and doing cutout cookies. But this is such a good cookie. It's just my favorite of all time sugar cookies. And it makes so many. Okay, so we're going to top with the colored sugar. I'm putting 1 drop of vegetable oil on the bottom of my glass, and it does not mess up the sugar at all. When I'm done, I put these leftover sugars, back in their bags. Just press down somewhat. You can see I've left it pretty thick. And doing that 1 drop will usually do about 3 cookies, and then you have to put another drop on the bottom. So I decided to do Easter colors. So I'm doing blue, pink, yellow, and purple. I have to give most of these away because I can't stop eating them. They're so good. Into the oven at 350 degrees for 10 to 14 minutes. It's going to depend on the size cookie you made. Sugar cookies. Easter is just around the corner, and these little jewels make great gifts and add so much to your cookie jar. They're really easy and fun to make. I think it would be a great project for you and your children to do together. And as a bonus, they are so good. Trust me, you have to try them. I want to thank my sister-in-law for this recipe. She makes these for gifts every year. Thank you, Sharon. Now go to darlenestable.com to find the recipe with all the ingredients so you can make this yourself. I'll put a direct link to it in the video description and comment. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if so, please give us a like and consider subscribing. That way you can keep up with what is going on right here on Darlene's Table.